Have you ever wondered what the difference between a traditional funeral service and a memorial service is? Well, let's talk about it. So the first one of the two we're going to talk about is traditional funeral service. So in order to do that, I'm going to take you guys into the chapel. So one of the biggest differences between a traditional funeral service and a memorial service is going to be the time frame. So a traditional funeral is often going to happen within a couple of days of your loved one's passing, where a memorial service can happen days, weeks, or even months after passing. So when we look at the chapel, we're going to typically reserve the first 2 rows for the family. This is going to be for respect purposes and also so that way they can be as close to their loved one as possible during the time of the service. When we think about the difference between a traditional and a memorial service, another thing to remember is that there's going to be the decedent present. So in a traditional funeral service, the decedent will be present through the presence of a casket. Whether that casket is open or closed is going to be based on the family's preference. Something else that will be attached to the casket is going to be a casket spray. A casket spray is just a collection of flowers that are placed on the casket, something for the family to look at if the casket's not open. But if the casket is open, we'll take this casket spray and move it off to the side so that way it looks like the decedent is looking onto the flowers. The ceremony for a traditional funeral service is often a structured program with greetings, prayers, and eulogies. Family members and friends may participate by sharing their memories or offering tributes. The atmosphere is one of reflection, which allows attendees to mourn together. After the service, it is common to have a procession to the burial site. This procession is often followed by what's called a committal service, which provides a final farewell to the family. So maybe a traditional funeral service just isn't for you. If that's the case, let's go ahead and talk about what's called a memorial service inside of our stateroom. So as I said before, one of the differences between a traditional and a memorial service is going to be whether or not the decedent is present. So in a situation like this, we have an urn present, which would indicate that the decedent has been cremated. Because the decedent was cremated, this can open up a door for families, which allow them to have their memorial service at a later time. So if maybe the week or 2 after their loved one's passing was just too hectic, or they truly just didn't want to have the service, they could have it a couple of weeks or even a couple of months after the passing of their loved one. So now we're going to talk about the atmosphere of a memorial service. So what we saw in the chapel when it comes to a traditional funeral service is going to be rows of chairs that allow for people to reflect and mourn the loss of their loved one. A memorial service opens up a door for families to celebrate the life of their loved one. As we can see in here, there's not rows of chairs, there are couches, it's a little bit more relaxed, it's a little bit more comfortable. The reason for this is that the family has had a little bit of time to process the grief that comes with losing a loved one. So when we think about a memorial service, we can also think about how it may be more personalized than a traditional funeral service. So if we look over here at the urn, we see an urn spray. Now an urn spray is going to be flowers that surround the urn, but they're a little more personalized than our last one, where we typically saw white flowers on top of a cherry casket. These have more colorful flowers because the atmosphere is a little bit more relaxed. You can also tend to see on the TV, there might be some photos or even some videos of the deceased, as well as music that they may have liked during their lifetime. All different types of things that a family can incorporate into a memorial service to make it personalized for their loved one to celebrate their life. So in summary, a traditional funeral service is going to be time sensitive, it's going to be more formal, and it's going to highlight the grief that comes with losing a loved one. A memorial service is going to be more flexible, it's going to be personalized, and it's going to celebrate the life of a loved one. Thank you for joining us for this week's Funeral Fact Friday. At Mansfield Funeral Home, we are honored to guide and support you every step of the way. If you found this video informational, don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe to stay connected with us. Oh, and remember, planning ahead brings peace of mind and knowledge brings comfort. Until next time.